Hi, everybody. As you might know, this is October, and being October, it's Interdimensional Gloryhole Awareness Month. A lot of people don't know this, but between government cutbacks, Republicans infringing on our personal liberty, and general abuse, our glory holes are in more trouble than ever, and we need your help. Go to interdimensionalgloryhole.org for more information. The glory holes depend on you, or else they'll become a thing of the past. Thank you. Every Monday and Tuesday, my cargo ship goes between Mars and Venus. And when I get home, I just want to take my shoes off, have you play with my penis. But now you say you worked all day and now you're just tired. So what about that robot maid we acquired? Keep playing games and I'm going to the interdimensional glory hole. Every Wednesday and Thursday I make the round trip between Venus and Earth. When I get home I just want to take a shit and have you play with my girth. You know your man's a working hard, he just wants a deuce. But that robot maid's not cleaning, it's just making you loose. Fuck your glorified vibrator, going to the interdimensional glory hole. And you know the best thing about the interdimensional glory hole is you never know what's on the side of the interdimensional glory hole. It might be a foul, or it might be a crowd. Might be an Assyrian, might be an Alpha Centaurian, might be a spider germ, and it might be a swarm, and it might be a nude, and it might be a gastropod, and it might be a macro, and it might be a chagaska, and it might be a cheetah person, and it might be a pipe person. And it might be a Vinochi, and it might be a Mater D, and it might be an adipose, or it might be a Arachnos, and it might be a Carionite, and it might be an Eaterlite, and it might be an Xarian, or it might be a Bahunian, and it might be a Kassavan, and it might be a Draconian, and it might be a Catkin, and it might be an Iridian, and it might be a Castor-Valvin, might be a Raxacorica-Falcatorian, might be a Pteroptile, and it might be an Eternal, and it might be an Auton, and it might be a Marshman, and it might be a Vardan, and it might be an Argolan, and it might be a Moon Creature, and it might be a Mars Warrior, and it might be a Morax, and it might be an Ux, and it might be a Mire, might be a Mutant Spider, and it might be a Nemon, and it might be a Minion, might be a Cantrafari, might be an Androzani tree, might be a Biomechanoid, and it might be a Vervoid, and it might be a Zolpathurin, might be a Chameleon, and it might be a Vigil, and it might be a Feral, and it might be a Solid Tract, might be a God of Ragnarok, and it might be a Boneless, and it might be a Craytheus, and it might be a Reaper, and it might be a Snake Creature, it might be a Rebosian, and it might be a Silurian, might be a Thoros Baton, it might be a Scaracid, and it might be a Crinoid, it might be a Primoid, and it might be a Vanir, and it might be a great vampire, and it might be a Stinza, and it might be a Menoptera, and it might be a Jacondid, and it might be a Hecolian, and it might be a Shrivenzel, and it might be a Star Whale, and it might be a Typhonian, might be an Intermidorian, and it might be a demon, and it might be a Scotted, and it might be a jail guard, and it might be a Time Lord, and it might be a Teller, and it might be a Vanir, and it might be a Thajarian, and it might be a Diplosian, and it might be a Zarbi, and it might be an Atraxi, and it might be a Forward, and it might be a Dryad, and it might be a Xeron, and it might be an Axon, and it might be a Draven, and it might be a Lurman, sorry. My calluses grow back. I just want to make sure that you know that if any of these words have actually been mispronounced, they're not actually being mispronounced. I'm doing the American pronunciation of the words. And some of these words, as you know, have probably never been spoken by an American before, so you're welcome. Might be a Borak, might be a headless monk, might be a Fiddleine, might be a Patig, might be a Stigerass, might be a Sycorax, might be an Exelon, might be a Chimeran, might be a Merca, might be a Skithra, might be an Ogron, might be a Zygon, might be an Ogre, might be a Xochi, might be a Logopolitan, might be a Saturnian, might be a Sea Devil, might be a Sidian Oil, might be a Lacertian, might be a Promotian, might be a Word, might be a Fish Person, might be a Half, might be a Flesh Moth, might be a Chronivore, might be a Hemivore, might be a Chakri, might be a Famasi, might be a Dominator, might be a Tractator, might be a Drashig, might be a Dreg, might be a Jagaroth, might be a Gelf, might be a Castrian, might be a Bedusin, might be a Lake Ghost, might be a Lugalira Kush, might be a Sandman, might be a Cyberman, might be a Nocturan, might be a Bavelin, might be a Spiridon, might be a Carphalon, might be a Leonian, might be a Solonian, might be a Peldonian, might be a Yasurian, might be a Cincerite, might be a Trachodite, might be a Vespiform, might be an Endrigum, might be a Real, might be a Weeping Angel, might be a Remnant, might be a Grunt, might be a Tivoli, might be an Architeuthidea, might be an Upzormaloth, Might be a werewolf. Might be a ginger dude. Might be a Bulgarian. Might be a Trinovirus. Might be a Jadus. Might be a quantum shade. Might be the flood. Might be a Xeraphid. Might be an Ozarian. Might be a Centaurid. Might be an Bacon. Might be a Monoid. Might be a Biomechanoid. Might be a buyer. Might be a hider. Might be a plasmaton. Might be a cryon. Might be a rooted. Might be a Vogan. Might be a collar. Might be an Agador. Hold up. Might be a show of the Winter Harmony. Might be a Swampy. Might be a Levithian. Might be an Anethian. And I know that I'll probably never get suctioned by a Dalek. But I hope someday I get sucked off by the timeless child. It's fucking long. Alright. Every Friday and Saturday deliver the goods from Earth to Jupiter. And all I ask is you pause your Amazon brain, plug it in, just spit up a Peter. You're telling me you're not in the mood. You're telling me you're not in the mood and that you have a headache. But they get neural inhibitor injections every time they vaccinate. Fuck this bullshit. Glory to the interdimensional glory hole. Try that one more time, that sucked. Every Friday and Saturday I glitter the urns from Earth to Jupiter. And so pause your Amazon brain, plug it and just spit up a Peter. So you're not in the mood and then you have a headache. But they give neural inhibitor injections every time they vaccinate. Fuck this bullshit, I'm going to the interdimensional glory hole. Sunday is my only day off and the glory hole's closed.